John Fakler, we're going to go to you with story number 3. You're somebody who wrote about white collar crime. You wrote when you were writing full time as a journalist, you always like to kind of delve into like the seedier side of South Florida. So this story is, I think, right up your alley. So I want you to give us some context. This piece is coming out of The Real Deal. I'm going to read the headline for a couple graphs, John, and then you can go ahead and give us some opinion. Coral Gables sales commission lawsuit turns into criminal with stalking charges. Subhead: sellers of office buildings allege broker Manny Chamiso sent them threatening texts and letters. First couple graphs: a lawsuit over allegedly unpaid commissions on the sale of a downtown Coral Gables building that involved the city's mayor became a criminal case when one of the brokers was charged with stalking the sellers. Manny Chamiso, a commercial broker at One Sotheby's International Realty, and Coral Gables mayor Vince Lago, then a real estate agent with RESF Brokerage, worked with the seller of the office building at 3251 Ponce de Leon Boulevard. They arranged a deal that fell apart in 2018 and was revived the following year when the seller renegotiated with the same buyer at a higher price. An entity called 3251 Property LLC, led by Alex Alvarez, bought the property. One Sotheby's sued the seller, All-in-One Investment Properties, in 2020, seeking what it alleged was owed about $6 million off the sale. RESF joined the lawsuit in March of last year and settled a couple months ago. Any settlement amount was not disclosed. One Sotheby's suit continues. The lawsuit alleges that Chamiso and Lago were owned a 2% commission on the sale, and that All-in-One Property Investments, Eddie Fernandez, secretly went behind the broker's backs to continue negotiating, ultimately close a deal with them. The commission comes out to about $120,000. Lo and behold, the story goes on. It's going to say that, this person was allegedly involved with stalking, so-called stalking. Mr. Fakler, why don't you give us your take on it? And what is a broker to do if some buyer is pulling an end around on them? Aren't they, entitled to try to run down their money? So what's your take on it, Mr. Fakler?
Yeah, Peter, I wanted to give a shout out to the author of this story, Catherine Kalergis. She is the author of this story, and she really cracks skulls on it. Really underscoring, the cutthroat nature of Miami real estate market. It's bad enough when things are bad, but I guess it's cutthroat when things are good as well. Kind of makes you wonder, how many deals have gone sideways over commissions? And also commissions combined with hardball tactics that involve violence or threats of violence amongst brokers and sellers. I don't know if that happens, if it's an everyday occurrence, but I would guess it isn't. But I also would guess that since there's a mayor that's involved in this, who used to be a real estate agent, I'm sure that's even more rare. But who knows? It's, this is only in Miami. Corruption is sort of legendary here, particularly the different types of stories. Here we got a mayor who was a former real estate agent, and he was teamed up with this Chamiso. Is that how you say his name?
I think so. Yep.
Yeah. And, all they wanted to do was wet their beak for 2% commission on the sale. The deal goes sideways. And, All-in-One, who was the entity that was the seller, they decide that, listen, we're going to go behind their backs and we're going to make the deal. So, interestingly enough, Sotheby's, this is still active, the actual lawsuit. However, it transitioned into a criminal complaint, where, it's involving stalking and harassment. Recently, the charge was actually upgraded to a felony. So, this thing is kind of serious. And, there were allegedly threats against the principals. I guess Fernandez is the CEO of the company and his wife as well. I won't go into the details because they're pretty unseemly. But they basically ordered to pay up or shut up. And as far as the threats go, and this is all according to court records, so this is on the books. It's by the way, they pled not guilty, so that's also on the books. So, and no one is really commenting on the story. So, again, really intense and deep reporting done by Catherine. And I really appreciate seeing that because we're not seeing a lot of that kind of reporting anymore, particularly with the layoffs. I know we talked about this last week. We don't see a lot of local boots on the ground reporting anymore. And I just really appreciated the story.
It definitely was a good story. And real estate commissions, good luck trying to collect. And if you are able to collect a real estate commission, I can say this, I've had a license since the early 90s. If you are able to collect the commission, a lot of times you get renegotiated at the table, 11th hour renegotiation. Typically, there's something that pops up late and the buyer and seller can't agree on a price, but they both know that chances are the brokers, they want to get the deal done because you eat what you kill in real estate. Therefore, they ask the brokers to typically reduce their commissions. And what inevitably happens is the realtors are out on it.